Good morning, dear wonderful Upyu community. Welcome to another episode of UpyouwithEzinne. It's a very beautiful Wednesday morning here in the city of Lagos. I enjoyed my drive from my house to the station this morning. How you all doing? I hope everyone is good today. We're still on our From Pain to Purpose series, and today we'll be going beyond breast cancer to explore general life issues. But before we roll, let me ask, woman, are you breast aware? Have you done your check this month? Remember, early detection of breast cancer helps save life. So don't put it off any longer. Go get your checkup done today and be breast aware. It's our own radio, and I'm here to keep you company wherever you may be. So let's do this, my beautiful people. Finding self, finding purpose. My name is Ezinne Kanem, and I'm your host. Do well to follow us on all our social media platforms at UpyouwithEzinne on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. We'd love to connect with you and keep the conversations going long after the program has ended. So who is ready for this episode? From pain to purpose. There are times in life when everything just feels so overwhelming, as if someone just set you up for bad things to happen to you. Yet, it is through our trials and pains that our gifts emerge. And it is by overcoming temptations and troubles, challenges, that we are made stronger and more valuable to ourselves, our families, our communities, society, and the world at large. At some point, we will all inevitably have to confront our past, our pain, deal with it, learn from it, and allow it to reveal our gifts and essence to the world and also to ourselves. You can transform your pain into purpose, and that is the focus of our discussion today. Keep it locked on UpyouwithEzinne. Let's learn together and begin to turn our pains to purpose. It's time to bring up our guest. Her name is Chinyere Obasi, a graduate of English language and literature and a lawyer. She practiced law for 7 years before joining the bank, worked in several departments in the bank: legal, company secretariat, credit, marketing, and debt recovery for 13 years, rising to managerial position. She is an author of 10 books and has won writing awards. She was finalist of the prestigious NLNG literary competition. Currently, Chinyere is a creative entrepreneur. She's a name that covers emceeing, comedy, public speaking, and writing. Like I said, Chinyere lives in Abuja with her husband and children. She's a firm believer that women will attain higher heights if they intentionally lift others. Dear listeners, please join me in welcoming a very accomplished guest this morning. Hello, Chinyere, how are you?
Fine, thank you. And how are you?
I'm very well. Are you breast aware?
Yes.
You know, it's still the breast cancer awareness month.
Okay, breast aware, yes.
Yes, and I promised myself that I'm going to be asking every woman, are you breast aware?
It's very important.
Oh, thank you very much. So how is Abuja today?
Abuja is fine. The sun is out early, and I know very soon we'll start complaining about the sun, just as we are complaining about the rain and then the cold. It just shows you that human beings can never be satisfied. Never.
Human nature. You hadn't come on by then. I was actually saying that it was a beautiful sunny Wednesday morning here too in Lagos. So it looks like we're both enjoying the same thing, yeah?
Yes.
Okay, so let's set the stage for our discussion today, yeah? Are you ready?
I am.
Good. Thank you. Could you please tell us your perspective and understanding of the topic from pain to purpose?
I want to start by every human being has something that is uncomfortable that's happened to them in their life. There's nobody who can say that from childhood to adulthood that they have not had anything that is uncomfortable. It may be as a child, there are children who are born into poverty and that they have had to, hawk food on the road. That's their own pain. That's their own reality. There might be some people who have had some prolonged sickness, some prolonged sickness and got out of it, so they know what it is to be in the hospital, how many times in a week, and back and forth. There are some people who have who waited to have a child for so many years, or don't have a child, or have one child. That's their pain. So the fact of the matter is, let me say something very funny. I have my second daughter who is a public health graduate, said to me, say, "Mommy, I'm going to set up an NGO." I said, "Okay, what's the NGO going to be about?" She said it's going to be paying school fees for children from where there are many children, from large homes. So like her NGO will only pay school fees for children who come from a family of maybe 5 and above. And I said, you know what you'll be doing? That means that you're going to be encouraging people to have children. She said, no, Mommy, the children that have come into the world, it's not their fault that they came into the world. They need to be taken care of. And I know that it's because of our situation, like having 5 children and having to try to give them the best and all that, and then all the stress that is involved. So the point is that everyone has a story of some pain that is peculiar to them. And that's why I always say to people, you don't belittle my pain. You don't come to someone and say, your own is even small. My own, no. Because what is small to you, probably that's why the Bible says that God gives us the grace, So what you consider, I beg, is nothing, might be big to me. So from pain to purpose means that from whatever is happening to you, you can turn it around. You can turn it around and make it something enviable. The first time I heard, I think it was, I don't know, this guy who had AIDS. That time that HIV was still such a big anathema, big anathema. Mm-hmm. There was a guy, a colonel. I'm sure you remember one colonel. In fact, I made friends with him, and he spoke. He set up an NGO that tried to. He was one of the first to come out to say, "I have HIV." So he became, in quote, like a kind of a celebrity, and he traveled everywhere in the world, preaching the message. And one time he came around, I went to visit. I was just curious, and he told me that, do I know that senators? Well, I don't know, some high top officials, they sneak into his hotel in Transcorp to come and collect jobs. So in essence, what I'm saying in essence is, at the point, somebody might think, not me, but somebody might think like, wow. So if somebody has HIV, they can really be everywhere, and he's still alive. It's not like he died.
Yeah.
Yeah. And gradually, because of his health and people like that, the disease was, less stigmatized, and then people were coming out to take their drugs. And today, people treat it, almost like I have malaria.
Like I have malaria. Yes.
Exactly. So,
thank you.
Every of our pain can be turned into purpose.
Thank you.
We should intentionally do that. Yes.
Thank you very much. One thing I heard you say is nobody should belittle another person's challenge, because a billionaire can lose 10 billion and be in pain. A church rat will lose 5 kobo and be in the same equal pain that the billionaire was in. It all depends on where you're coming from. Thank you. So we should respect each other's challenges, each other's pain, and each other's journey. Okay, so today we are going to be focusing on your own journey and how you came about to become a Jill of all trades and mistress of all. Lawyer, ex-banker, author, creative entrepreneur, MC, comedian, public speaker, mother, wife, and so much more. How did all this come about?
Well, you and I belong to the era where if you are not a lawyer, you are not an engineer, you are not maybe geologist, accountant.
I know, right?
Yeah, you have not started.
Yes, I know, right? Our parents did that to us,
Parents don't want to hear anything like that. So I know that I went to a federal government college, Federal Benin, and of course at that time there was no. It was either you went to federal or state school, so it was more like all the eggheads to bring them in one class. And so all of us wanted to be lawyers, wanted to be this and that. And at the end of the day, when I took JAMB, I think my first score was 249. And they offered me English. I said, for what? It was Ife. I said, no, please, read English. I'm a lawyer. So I went back. I went to do lower stakes. And while doing lower stakes, I now put Abia State University. Then it was Imo State University. I was thinking, well, it would be easier to get in. And then when JAM came, I had 269, and the cutoff point was 261. So naturally, I expected I should make the supplementary list, naturally. And my daddy traveled outside the country at that time, and so there was no lobbying, but I was very relaxed. And then when the list came out, without me applying to be in English, my name came out under English.
Wow.
And so my daddy calls me and says, look, you are just 17 years, So if you go in to read law, to read English, by the age of 21, you'll be done with English as the first degree. And you can go back and read law. I mean, like in some advanced countries, that law is not a course that you read straight.
Yeah.
And then other people were like, maybe next jam, now you even see your name at all, or you may even get a very scandalous score, all of that. And of course, with my parents' huge support, and knowing that I'm not going to go to school in pain, and crying and all that, no food, no money. I said, well, since they said I should go, so I went and read English. I came out at the age of 21 and went straight to Sokoto to do my youth service. And while there, I applied for law, and I was given admission.
So you went back to back?
Yes, back to back. I had my schooling back to back. So I immediately after youth service, I went to University of Uyo, and then got admission to read law. One funny thing, I started from year one because University of Uyo obeys this quota system. So quota. So if the law school says we only want 10 people, Uyo is not ready to make it 11. So by the time I was applying, it was like, look, we are full. Second year, we don't want not to be accredited by the law school. So they said, are you ready to start? I said, well, it's a fresh environment and nobody knows me. It doesn't matter. And if I say I'm not going to do it by second year again, when I now come to do second year, it's the same thing, kind of, So I got into the school to read law. Funny enough, my classmates didn't know I had a first degree in my final year.
Oh, my goodness.
Because to start with, a lot of them were almost my age, about my age. And then secondly, I was like, if I'm going to take notes from these people, if I'm going to do tutorials from them, if I'm going to, bond with them, I don't have to come with an attitude of, excuse me. Nobody would look at me.
That's really very commendable. A full graduate going back to start all over again.
Oh, yes. I started all over again.
Is that feeling like a jam bite,
Yes, so as a full student, and guess what? I never lived off campus. They had off campus facilities, but I stayed in the hostel. I stayed, and that's why when anybody, because mommy, no, not my children, but people say live off campus. Yeah, I said no, I'm a student. I knew I was a student. I didn't want to live off campus, have TV in my room, have radio, have how all those off campus
so that you stay
and then
focused.
I'll be comfortable. Then I'll be cooking, and is that what they sent me to school to do? So of course the hostels were uncomfortable, like how many in a room, but I survived it. I mean, it was nothing. After all, during holidays, I go home. So
the phone lines are opening right now. The number to call is 0913 6000 410. Please keep the calls coming so that we can engage our guest. Chinyere, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
So after that, I now finished law school. I finished law school. By the time I was through with law school, I was 27. I was called to the bar December 15th, and I was doing my traditional wedding December 27th.
Oh my God! So everything was just going back to back to back to
yes, back. And then by the next 29 December, by July 29. When I was 29 years, I had my first child, and then I had all the others subsequently like that. So when I now practice law, of course, after reading this law for 9 years, that's the way I say it. Because whenever I go to I say, I spent 9 years reading law because really was what I wanted to read. So
because the English was like a road to getting into law, right?
Yes, so I spent 9 years reading the law. And thanks to my parents, and I mean, there was good sports. I never was starved. They met my needs, and you know what? I mean, reasonable needs. I didn't have to regret that I had a first degree and I was coming to disturb them. And funny enough, we're 8 children, and I was the first. But they were good. They were very good to me.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you. Honestly, we are grateful for parents who invest in us.
Yes.
Now, Chinyere, moving on, because time is not our friend. Some of the most precious things in life are born from pain and struggle. And you've just shared with us now your struggle getting to a law degree. It took you 9 years, where ordinarily would take other people 4 years or thereabout.
Exactly.
You know, but you know, in life, it's like most things come out of pain. For instance, childbearing and rearing. You know, you just mentioned as you were talking that you have 5 children.
Yeah.
How did you do that? A lot of women complain about pain from childbirth, and you went 5 times.
Well, but you know, but really, even everybody complains. We know that God made it in such a way, or nature, for those who are quarreling with God. God, nature, made it in such a way that as soon as you put to bed, after some time, you know, you forget the pain. And they say go back again, you go back, you know. It's even the men, some of the men who enter the hospital world, who will be like, you can't give birth again, you can't go through all this. But the woman forgets, you know. Sometimes you try to remember how it was. You really can't effectively remember. You know, what it is just like a scar. But anyway, that's not it. As a comedian, one of my jokes is that some women, their husband's breath can get them pregnant. Just the breathing. The man hasn't touched them. The man is just passing by himself or just near the wall. And then the next day, the woman is saying, I'm pregnant.
I know that, right? I know, yeah.
I just creative fun. So some women are highly fertile. And they, you know, and so while they're thinking, which birth method is wise for me, and then you now hear stories where somebody says, my baby came out with the IUD, say, God forbid. You see one of your friends so fat, what happened to you, my dear, is one thing I'm taking, birth control. Say, I cannot take anything, it's going to make me larger than, you know. So by the time you do all of that, before you know it, and then you are thinking that you're pregnant. So, and funny enough, I had the 5 of them by CS. You know, I had
Hold on. Did you say 5 children by CS?
I had the 5 children by CS.
How? Did you have them here in Nigeria, or was it?
Well, yes, I had all of them except my son, who is the 4th child. I had it in the US because when I had my 3rd child, I had an infection that almost claimed my life. So
okay, just hold on, because what we hear is that you can't do more than 3 CSs. How did you do 5?
Well, I will still be in support of you can't do more than 3 CSs, you know. But the thing was, as a Christian, how I did 5, which was not intentional. When I had the first 3, which was at least the maximum allowed or said to be allowed, the first 3 were girls. Of course, I'm not a stickler, but if it's not a boy, I kill myself. And I don't think my husband is like that, because I've not heard him making noise about it. So if it's like that, it's inside his heart. I don't know. So I wasn't under any pressure. It wasn't a boy thing. But I had that so when I had my daughter, I had infection. It was so bad that I had to take blood and go back to the hospital, 2 operations in a month. So when I recovered from all that trauma, I didn't think I was going to, take him again. It was like it's done for me. But 4 years later, you know how they say time heals the wound. 4 years later, I decided to try again. Funny enough, all my children, I know when I had them, I didn't have any child except my last daughter. I didn't have any child that I didn't know I wasn't ready for. Whenever I want to give birth, when I start seeing children, this child is so cute, this child is so beautiful, this baby is so cute, I just know that Chinyere is ready for another baby. That's how I wish.
The studio lines are still open, and the number to call, text or WhatsApp is 0913 6000 410 0913 6000 410. Yes, Chinyere, we're with you.
So I became pregnant, and then considering what I went through, I said, okay, let me travel. I went to America at least to have the baby, so that nobody will say let me just do the best I can. And I had my baby in the US. So when I had the baby, they said, what birth control do you need? I was in the bank then. I said, they should tie my tubes. And they said, oh, if we're going to tie your tubes, you give us like 1 month notice. I said, no, I don't live here. So I can't give you 1 month notice. So I came back with that bravado. What I can make it, all this, with all the safe period. And
in all that. The 5th one.
And funny enough, the 5th one came within a year that I had my son.
Oh,
I became pregnant. And I cried for 2 weeks non-stop. I mean it. I cried for 2 weeks non-stop. If you see me, you will know that something. Just say, what's wrong with you? Still pregnant. And then the person will go, hey, because they know my history.
Exactly.
And I'll cry more. Then they'll not start saying, no. There's nothing God cannot do. So it was just a horrible time. But 2 things made me to stop crying and to start. Okay, 3 to start faking it. One, the president of my women's group, I was the secretary then. She asked me on a Sunday, what's wrong with you? I just burst out crying. She said that I forgot that she had only 1 child. So she said to me, you are crying that you are pregnant. Chinyere, I have only 1 child. If I have these 5 pregnancies, I would have been happier. And you are crying that God gave you a child, and you think that God who put that baby inside you is not capable of bringing that baby out. That's why you're crying. Are you now laughing at people like me? Like she was trying her own way of getting me to
encouraging
laugh.
you. Yeah.
Then the second person went to tell my husband, they're Christians, born again. So that one told my husband that they had to abort a baby that they didn't want. You understand? They had made up their mind they were going to have this number of children. When the wife became pregnant, they aborted it. For me, it was the highest. I didn't think a pregnant woman, a married woman, can go and abort a baby. Because, if you're not married, those who abort, they'll be like, how will people see me? I'm not married. But for goodness sake, you're married. So if you got pregnant by accident, better go and have it as a marriage. But so I had to ask a doctor. The doctor told me that the highest level of abortion is amongst married people. Meanwhile, if you ask me, do married people abort, I'll say it's a lie. So I now said to myself, I said, well, I'm going to swim and sink with this baby. Whether it takes my life or whether it kills my life, but I will not abort any baby because I know better. I know it's God. I can't do that. Then the third one was my mother. I was scared of telling my mother that I was pregnant because I knew they would be mad with me. They would say I hate myself so much, and I know my parents are probably going to blame my husband. Maybe this my daughter says she does not even resist her husband, and I know it takes you to tango, isn't it?
Yes, it does.
So what did I do? So my mother had a dream, and in the dream, she was told that your daughter is pregnant. She's going to have a baby. Nothing is going to happen. Nothing is going to happen to her. Her baby is going to be healthy. She's going to come out strong. So my mother calls me, Chinyere, so you're pregnant, eh? And you didn't tell me. So I said, how did you know? Say, hey, you think you can hide from the Holy Spirit? So those 3 things now gave me courage. I became more prayerful, believing God. And I had the baby in National Hospital.
So you had a baby within 1 year of having the fourth one?
No, not 1 year. Not 1 year. My son is like 2004 January. Then my daughter is like 2005 December. Same
thing that we're talking about. Within it's a time phrase of say a year and a year plus, and that is 1 CS after another CS. That's CS number 4 and CS number 5.
Yes.
Okay. Now you have known pain. You've known pain back to back, birthing your children, and probably have faced some challenges training up 5 children in this time and age. But one thing I know is that pain and all of this has a powerful way of teaching us what's most important and where our true purpose lies. Please share with us what you found out about yourself so far, being mother to 5 children, having 5 CSAs, going through health challenges. What has all this taught you? What have you discovered about yourself, your strength, your purpose?
Good question. First and foremost, if anybody who knows me, the first thing that they will know about me is Chinyere has 5 years. Because I remember in those days, when my third daughter, I gave a testimony of how I had 3 years, and my mother was there. She said, look at her, the way she's saying, I think it's something good. I said, well, I don't know what is wrong with it. My baby is healthy. That's the important thing. Because women are used to seeing people go to church, and then they now said I was going to have a CS, and I bind it. I called my pastor. We held hands. We prayed. Blah, 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 blah. So when they give that kind of testimony, the next woman who goes to the hospital and the doctor is trying to tell her to prepare for CS is remembering one testimony of faith, and she will refuse. And a lot of lives have been lost, my darling sister. Uncountable number of lives due to ignorance and stupidity and religion. Some of them will not pick their things and run away from the hospital and go to another hospital to go and try to take it, to have that baby normally. And in the process, they die. And so, I even at the point, I thought I was going to start up with an NGO, on awareness and everything. But I think I'm writing a book, something like that. But what it has helped me to do is I carry the message everywhere. Any talk I have to give, I find a way to put in that I have 5 years. And, the funny thing is, so many people have come back to tell me, thank you. When you wrote about that your 5 years, when I went to the hospital and they said I was going to have a CS, I remembered you. And I said, if this woman can survive 5 years, I can. Some people have called me to pray with them, that the God that was with me will also be with them, And I have encouraged them. I said, look, there's nothing you can do. If you submit yourself to the hospital for antenatal, and then that means that you're saying, doctors, give me advice. Then at some point again, you now say you won't take this particular advice. Because there are 1,001 reasons why ACS happens.
Some women will say they want to have their children the Hebrew way, and so they risk their lives instead of doing the CS. Yeah.
Yes.
So basically, today, what we are saying or what you are saying is, even though it's not advisable, even though you wouldn't advise women to have as many CSs as you've had, you did survive 5 CSs, and you have 5 healthy children. And in the challenging times that we live in, you and your husband have successfully trained 5 children.
That's right.
And as a result of all the things you need to do, you had to now find your different talents to become everything that you are.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Okay, I was practicing law, and then there was a lot of traveling. You go to office today, get ready, I go to Enugu, get ready, I go to Port Harcourt, and I had children. I said to myself, no, I can't do this. And then an offer came from a mentor to work in the bank, and as at that time, bank had, was going to pay me well, which would also enhance my financial capability, for the family and all that. Because really, everyone should have, this is a fantastic point, God, I thank you. Everyone should have an image of the family they want to raise. You know. So when you have that image of the family you want to raise, everything will propel you to do that. I have a friend that, for example, I wanted all her children to go to Loyola Justice, all of them. 4 of them, 4 girls. And I want to tell you, 4 of them passed through Loyola Justice. 4 of them. So
again, you're saying that when you have a vision, and you've written it out and it's clear to you what you want to do, even though life is throwing lemons at you, you keep making lemonades to make sure that your vision comes to reality.
Exactly. Because that was what happened to me. I decided to make my needs secondary, and that's what I want to tell every woman, every man. Our children are not going to be with us forever. Like, you're making sacrifices. It's not a forever thing. So it's not a thing of grumbling, of anger, of, when you're paying bills, you're making the child feel bad, like they brought themselves to the world, You say things like, this money I'm paying, honestly. When you become old and are helping, they'll be grumbling too. It's something that you do with joy, knowing that.
I caught something there. Hold on, please. I need to amplify this for our listeners. I caught something there. You said, or what I heard is, when you're doing stuff for your children, when you're making sacrifices for your family, don't do it grumbling.
Yes.
Because you're setting down a precedent for them to also grumble if and when they have to look after you.
Exactly.
That hit me. That hit me so hard. That hit me. Oh, wow.
Yes. Yes. Because you see, whatever you sow, that's what you reap. And then the children are watching you. So everything you do while bringing up, what helped me was, when I look at my children, I say, okay, give and take, within so and so time, they'll be out of school. Nobody is going to, I'm not going to forever be providing school fees. I'm not going to be forever, providing pocket
By the way,
money.
are you done with that now? Are you done with school fees?
Well, I'm not done. My last daughter is in a French school. She hasn't entered university, but
you're almost done.
Yes, I'm almost done. But the older sisters and brother, they are helping much more than I can ever have imagined.
Oh, wow.
At 27, 25, 23, they are doing very well as per caring. You understand?
Oh,
so
wow.
it's not going to be as difficult as it ever
the initial ones were.
No.
Yeah.
And it's not now. The good thing is, when you make sacrifices as a parent, your children will willingly make sacrifices for you. Because they were there with you. They saw how, they came secondary. I was listening to Tunde Bakari when he said his mother, the mother lives with them, he doesn't joke with his mother. He said the mother never wore an ashebi when he was growing. The mother wanted to give him the best education. Whether the mother had two wrappers or so, she will wash one, dry one, wear one, like that, just to make sure that he becomes, a lawyer and, someone great.
Who he
so
is today.
Now that he's not there. So back to what you're saying, turning your pain into purpose. When I had those 5 children, which one of my messages, and I keep telling people, please don't have 5 children, whether it's like CS or normal. Don't. Just have 3 children, 2 or 3. But because of our suspicious nature, if it's 2, something happens to 1. It maybe you can do 3, but don't do 5. Because you too, as a person, you need to also have a new lead of life. Like the way I'm saying is, ignore yourself for some years. No. As you ignore yourself, things are happening, passing by you. There are groups that you want to belong to. You can't say this, There are parties you want to go to. You look at yourself and, it's not easy. So please don't have too many. But when you have too many children, decide to be very hardworking. Decide to be creative. Be spiritual. Hold God and say, God, I can't do this without you. And He's going to come down and help you. At the end of the day, you will not be, now they call me to come and teach me how to abase and abound, to come and teach me how to raise children, blah, 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 and I'm looking at myself.
So you found purpose. So you found purpose.
Exactly. It was accidental. Not that I woke up one day, it was just accidental.
Yes, but that's how these things happen. You're just busy minding your business. Something happens, and you realize, aha, this is why I'm here. This is why this actually happened. This is what I'm supposed to be doing with this. So thank you so much. Thank you for sharing with us. Now we know that the fact that one has several children or is busy training children, making sacrifices, doesn't mean that one cannot eventually find themselves. Because if you didn't have this number of children that you had and you didn't face all the challenges that you faced, you probably wouldn't have become an author, you wouldn't have become a speaker, you probably would have just been a lawyer doing charge and bail somewhere.
Or be the son, no, you never can tell.
No, I just would give you charge and bail.
Or a judge. I anchored an event 2 or 3 days ago. The Chief Justice of Nigeria was there. President of Court of Appeal was there.
Do you see that?
About 50 sons were
exactly.
there. Governors were there.
And you will please them to know that you're a lawyer like them as well. Yes, okay, so Chinyere, please, time has flown. Could you please give us your last comments, and encourage the woman out there who is trying to not crumble under the weight of the challenges and pains that they're struggling with at the moment?
Well, what I want to tell everyone is that pain is not peculiar to you. And don't wear the world on your shoulder. You might think that when you wear the world on your shoulder, help will come. No, help will not come.
In fact, you'll even run away from you at that point.
People don't like people who are miserable, dry.
Thank you.
And always complaining. People want life. They want to be near someone who is bubbling, who is happening. And that's the image to the glory of God I had throughout that time. I wasn't there. Nobody gave me 5 children. You understand? So why would I fight the world? Yeah. So don't fight the world. Sit down and ask yourself, what can I do? For example, you don't have a child. If nobody made you not to have a child, you go to the orphanage. You go somewhere. You adopt children. You set up children's program. The children you don't have, you can come from anywhere. Strangers can become your children who will not forget you. There's this fantastic story, about Mike. I don't know how true it is, but they said there was a teacher that saw that he had a gift in acting, but his parents were not ready for that kind of gift. Mike's parents, and then so this teacher took it upon himself to pay money to have him, classes and everything. A teacher. And I heard that Mike now puts that man on a salary.
Wow, that's a nice one.
Yes, on an allowance, because as far as he's concerned, that man made him what he. So don't grumble, don't be angry, don't be sad. Nobody caused your problem. Nobody gave you 5 children. Nobody gave you horrible in-laws. Sit back and meet God and say, how do we get over this challenge?
Thank you.
And He will help you. He will help you.
Thank you very much, Chinyere. Thank you for joining us on the program today.
Yes.
Thank you. We have learned quite a lot from you. It's a great job you're doing. I like your spirit very much. How you've taken on several other things to ensure that you are well able to fend for the family that you have brought into the world, the children.
Yes.
Thank you. Yes, thank you very much. So my take today is that some challenges are sent to break us open to remind us of our true strength. I'm not sure that our guest today knew she was as strong as she is. I'm not sure she believed that she could raise those 5 children and raise them excellently. Out of the 5, I think she's got 3 graduates already and 2 are in the pipeline coming. Trauma and painful events from our past don't have to continue to define our future. We can change the narrative by turning it all from pain to purpose, like our guest did and continues to do. So now she's training people who have similar or even other challenges to find other things that you can do. We are not trees. We must not stay in one job or one profession. We are multi-talented people. So we should all try, to turn our pains into purposes. You know that saying, when it rains, you look for rainbows, and when it's dark, you look for stars. Make it your mantra as you go through life. Like she said, nobody likes anybody who goes around carrying the whole world on their shoulder, because everybody is carrying something. No matter what happens, don't lose your smile. So this is where we wrap up today's edition on Up You with Ezinne. It's been another amazing one. Please follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Up You with Ezinne. Get copies of our books, Up You and When Adversity Strikes, Fight. Thank you. And big up to everyone that is involved in creating this magic every week. Starting with you, our dear listeners, our guests, our advertisers, the callers, the engineers on duty, my producer, the amazing Up You team, 98.3 Mainland FM, the sound of Lagos. You all stay strong, stay blessed, stay lifted. My name is Ezinne Kufre Kanem. Until next time, it's Up You.